Hello, lovely people, and welcome to another episode of our Schulering Hub podcast, Talking Hospitality. I have a request for you, community, today. If you like this show, please share with your colleagues and spread the word. People need to evolve, people need to learn. So let's share. Sharing is caring. So let's tell everyone what is going on. And on today's episode, we'll hang out with a hotel director of a newly rebuilt property in Prague, which I have personally been, and it's tastily done. I've been to a few events there. The Hotel Fitzgerald. Jakub Kočandrle, did I say it right?
Welcome. You said it very right. I'm surprised and I'm impressed.
Welcome to the show, Jakub. So, Jakub, we always start with the human side before business here. Yeah? You have a quite large experience internationally. So, what is your story in hospitality, Jakub? Who is Jakub?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And just to say a few words about myself. So yeah, my name, as you said, is Jakub Kočandrle. You pronounced it very well once again. And I come actually from a town called Karlovy Vary, which some people might know. It's a city like 80 miles away from Prague. And that's where basically I began my hospitality career after the studies, I would say like 20 years ago, in a small 4-star hotel called Hotel Dvořák. And from there, I was exploring the hospitality business, not only hotels, but restaurant sites as well. I had an experience of working in France, in Marseille, in a nice beach restaurant and bar. But then I realized that my passion is really at the hotels rather than restaurants. So I came back to Karlovy Vary, became part of a pre-opening team for a little property there. And then from there, actually, I moved to Cyprus, where I became a part of opening team for Intercontinental Hotel there at the role of assistant night manager. So it was an adventure that took me 1.5 years. And after that, there was another wonderful opportunity to go back to Prague and become a part of the opening team for Mandarin Oriental Hotel. And that basically is half of my hospitality life, because I stayed with the company over 13 years. Worked 6 years in Prague, as all the way from front office supervisor to front office manager. Then moved to Boston, to Mandarin Oriental Boston, where I worked as an assistant front office manager for 3.5 years, more or less. And then after that, I moved for 4 years to Mandarin Oriental Miami, where I worked first as a front office manager and then director of front of house operations. After this time there, I decided together with my wife that we go back to Czech Republic and see. Me personally, I was curious to see how the life is in Czech Republic back in Prague, and she wanted to experience living in Europe. So we killed 2 birds with 1 stone, and I came back to become a director of rooms at Intercontinental. And I was supposed to play a vital role in the rebranding from Intercontinental to Fairmont, but then COVID actually came to our life and played even more vital role in all of our lives, especially in hospitality. So it was a challenge that we, I think, all had to face. And first, I took some time off, but waiting for the new position at the role that I had experience for. But due to the consequences of COVID, I had to humble myself, and actually I took a step away from hospitality and worked as a general manager of small cleaning solution company. And after a year there, right now, as you mentioned, I moved to the Hotel Fitzgerald, which is a newly renovated hotel in Karlín. And we have 24 rooms here, nice restaurant, bar, and theater, which you experience yourself. And I'm here at the role of general manager since December last year. So that's pretty much my road from the beginning till now.
It's a beautiful path. Yeah, you've been traveling, and I think that you basically living the hoteliers' dream life. Yeah, that is normally when I speak to hoteliers, they got into the industry to have that opportunity to work, to serve, but travel around and experience other cultures. And it seems that you did it all, isn't it?
I agree. I still missing Asia and Middle East, but never say never.
That's true. And the hotel Fitzgerald, it looks amazing. It's tastefully decorated. The spaces are quite smart. I saw the way that it's being put it together. And what's the proposition of the hotel now? What's the idea behind it?
So the idea behind it is basically to have a nice, small boutique hotel that's stylish and it's fresh. That's starts from the music we play in the lobby or in front of the hotel to the scent that people can smell when walking to the hotel, but as well to the experience they have with our colleagues. So we have, I would say, energy. So we don't want to be much structured like the corporate hotels. We want to be more like a family business, but with the right amount of standards and style. So we want to have people to have a good quality time here, but as well so they can feel the family atmosphere when they walk in here, and then they are treated as such with our colleagues. And we really want to make a name for ourselves in Karlín, at least at the Karlín, at this part of town, and become the spot for people to go, not only to stay, but to dine in the restaurant or to visit one of our comedy shows or any other things that are happening in our theater, like music events.
No, it's great, and I can relate to say that when I went to the hotel, everyone is smiling, everyone is really welcoming. I think that I end up even meeting the chef at some point, and he was really smiling and welcoming. What's not normal normally. So I think that you're doing a great job there in putting that all together. Can I ask you, what's the biggest challenge you're facing today?
The biggest challenge right now in our operation is to have a stable operation at our food and beverage outlet, namely the restaurant and the bistro, because it is challenge to bring outside customers. I think it has been the thing when I moved out of Czech Republic 10-11 years ago. And it's still the same thing now, that the general public just don't feel like going to restaurants that are located at the hotels. So that's something we are fighting. I think that's what every property in Prague is fighting, because we try to make the people feel welcome and not even think of going to the hotel when visiting the Twisted Fig. So that's how we maintain the propagation. That's how we did marketing, and that's why even the restaurant has separated web page. However, it still remains a challenge to bring people outside of the corporate lunch period.
The Twisted Fig, yeah. So let's remember the name. And that's interesting. So you are marketing the restaurant separated from the hotel to try to be more attractive, then, yeah.
Exactly. We don't want for people to get the idea to go that they are going to the hotel. We basically are trying to kind of hide it from the people. Yeah. So even when you go to our web pages to the hotel and you click on the restaurant, it takes you directly to the restaurant web page, but there is no link back to the hotel on the restaurant web page itself. So we're really trying to present it as an independent restaurant bistro, with a Mediterranean style of cuisine with a Czech flavor and a little bit of Irish flavor to it as well, because that's where our chef is from. So that's how we're trying it. And so far, I think we're seeing some improvement, but of course, there is a long way to go to be where we want to be.
Do you think that this is quite of a cultural thing that in Prague, people are a little bit wary of going to a hotel restaurant? Yeah, would that be a...
I think, and it's not only about, I think the stakeholder is not only the general public, but as well the restaurant managers or owners, because from my experience in US, I would say 60-70% of the best restaurants in town are always in some well-branded hotel. While here, they're trying to open independent restaurants and would, I would say, almost never think of using hotel property to rent a restaurant space or to open a restaurant there. So I think it's both sides, not only the customers, but as well the businessmen.
And just then doing a hook and as some value for the community, for other hoteliers that are listening to our show today, is any suggestion that something that you would say that probably as a community we could do better to try to change that cultural idea of hotels and restaurants not being well together? Do you think that there is anything there that can be changed?
It depends what hotel and what restaurant they have there, but I think once you run the restaurant well, and when it becomes a destination restaurant that people know about it and they will go there, then I think that's something that might help. And I think that's what, for example, was in Zlatá Praha restaurant in Intercontinental, which obviously was there for 30 years or so, and it already created a name for itself. So people literally had to walk through the hotel, go up to the 8th floor, but they would still do it. And for example, like the Sunday brunch was booked 3-4 months ahead. So I think that's what you will need to do, is basically create kind of a landmark destination restaurant that people talk about and go there. So I would say just, make sure that you bring the right people, and then get the word out there, that you have some good chefs, some good experience, something that others can't offer, and then maybe will encourage the people to come into your place.
That's brilliant. So you're listening to it, hotelier. Listen to it. Yeah. Let's make up the name for it. Yeah. And like we spoke a little bit about the past, about yourself. Yeah. Your story. We now spoke a little bit about the present, the Fitzgerald, your challenges, and we have a tradition here that we close with a play in the future. Yeah. So I love Back to the Future. So I always do this display that you jump to Dr. Emmett Brown's car, and you jump to 2035. Yeah, and once you get there, you need a place to stay. How would you see hospitality in 2035? What would be the experience of staying in a place?
Well, first, I think it as well depends on Mr. Musk. How far is he going to get with the hotel on the moon? But there could be option. Don't know how fast he will be. But if we stay on the Earth, then I think technically there will be many of improvements. And I think that's what we see even nowadays when I'm talking to different companies. There's more companies which are focused on replacing the manpower by machines. And I think that's going to have an influence on our business in the future. Maybe not so in the 5-star segment, but in the 4-star, 3-star hotels, I think that's where I see it already as a trend, that there is no receptionist and there is machine instead. They have automated check-ins, check-outs. But for me, actually, I see still the future of hospitality as a good connection between those two facts, like the human aspect and the machine, because I'm actually one of the advocates of that there should not be only machines, that there always should be this human touch when you're experiencing stay in any of the hotel. That I don't think that there is a machine sufficient enough to replace a human being with this natural feelings and with anticipating your needs. I don't think there is a machine that can anticipate your needs, and unless you ask it. So to me, in the future is, of course, high tech. Of course, there'll be new limits as of, let's say, building a hotel on the cliff of mountain, because I am sure that there'll be techniques how to do that, or underwater hotels. We already have underwater restaurants, but I still see the strong influence of a human factor in hospitality, and I think it should never be replaced completely.
And that's beautiful. I read today one post from the hotel director, American hotel director. And it was, hospitality is not about perfection, it's about connection. I love that saying, and it goes really well aligned what you're saying. Beautifully put. So Jakub, how people can find you if they want to find a job, if they want to find out more about your hotel, maybe someone wants to offer some of those technologies, these technologies that we just spoke about, how they can find you?
Well, they can reach out to us. I mean, we have web pages for the hotel, which is hotelfitzgerald.com, or the restaurant, which is twistedfig.cz, I believe. And so we are reachable there. We have contact details there, or of course, I'm available at my email, which I'm happy to share if there is some link that I can provide, and I'll be happy to stay in touch. So again, we are open to any discussions. We are open to any possible improvement or cooperation that can make our lives easier. So don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Thank you very much, Jakub. It was a pleasure to speak to you. I hope that you enjoyed this chat, and I hope that our community also enjoyed that.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Bye, Schulering.